Everyone's heard at least one anime hipster channel their inner Miyazaki and whine over anime not being as marvelous as it once was. With more animes flowing out of Japan like a hentai adaptation of Niagara Falls, it's easy to conduct a lazy argument about current anime being weak, when a dozen or so animes out of hundreds are half-assed schemes of how to normalize boning your sister. You'll get the opposite extreme too, where every year there's someone claiming that this is the best year of anime yet. They sometimes may be over-exaggerating, but when you consider all the recent advancements anime has made, I think there's a heftier basis for why anime quality and the state of its industry has been so hella stellar lately. I mean, look at the new Dragon Ball Super movie, which reached #1 in movie theater sales, and it received great reception from fans and critics. You think anime isn't a humongous chungus right now? See what happened to this dude? The Japanese police don't fuck around. And Twitter made Sasuke forget what air is, so that has to count for something, right? There's also something superb going on right now that doubles down on anime's current quality. Every several of years, anime fans will be treated with an absolute gem, an entire anime season where the latest hit shows all end up falling on the same one. And man, do I genuinely believe that the current Winter 2019 anime season is going to go down as one of the greats. So grab your hot chocolate and hold your body pillow tight, cause it's cold as balls out and this is gonna be a hell of a ride.
I can feel my face when I'm with you. I can feel my face, but I love it. But I love it. But I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, I can feel my face when I'm with you. I can feel my face, but I love it. But I love it. But I love it. But I love it. I can feel my face when I'm with you.
Winter 2019, a season of many banger openings, main characters that break from the norm, and splendid animation. But if there's one key quality I first want to mention, it's the facial expressions. It's like all the various studios of the Winter 2019 animes gathered together and agreed to have the facial expressions the major focus of their animes. Maybe they all saw the cry for help in 2018's My Sister, My Writer and vowed to never have something like that happen again. That pact has seemed exceedingly effective so far. We're no stranger to facial detail in Kakaguri. Back for a second season, it's still secretly a WikiHow for how to look constipated and horny at the same time while still maintaining a poker face. Kaguya-sama, Love is War, might rival those poker faces as it appears to have created an entire metagame of it. The Promised Neverland did an amazing job at reenacting what people's faces probably looked like when they saw my Pokemon sexual relations video, as it's had some of the most detail I've seen ever poured into a character's facial movements. Everyone in Mob Psycho continues to look constantly smug as fuck in Season 2, and this feline in My Roommate is a Cat might be the most expressive animal in an anime I've ever seen. Meanwhile, we've got Boogie Pop, who's the rebel in this agreement, who's all like, how about to hell with facial expressions? You know what, just fuck faces in general. Then there's Bermuda Triangle Colorful Pastel, which looks like it was trying its hardest to put on its best Makoto Shinkai impersonation with the backgrounds and scenery, that it completely forgot to put any effort whatsoever into the characters' faces. Now, in order to dive deeper into some of this season's animes, I'll be pulling shows from this trash can here in order to decide the order that we talk about them in. An out of 5 rating will be given in the form of butt cheeks, and I know that, only ends up equating to 2.5 full butts, but who are us weebs to discriminate against half butts? Now then, let us dive into the trash can in hopes that the anime gods bless us with sweet weeaboo sugar. Looks like we first pulled the anime My Roommate is a Cat. If you're the type of person like me, who's created an entire philosophy about your cat's existence and what goes on inside its brain, then this is the anime for you. The show features various scenarios about the daily life of an antisocial writer and his cat, both through him and the cat's perspectives. So far, it's been quite accurate about interactions one might have on the daily with their cat.
Get the fuck down! What the fuck are you looking at? Don't fucking run away from me! I'll end you!
If you're selling tickets to a fantasy world with a guaranteed harem, then every neckbeard in sight would be after you like that fish in the chocolate episode of SpongeBob. But if that opportunity ended up as becoming the MC of the quintessential quintuplets, you might regret your life choices. It's not that the girls of the show are poorly written or unentertaining, they're all kinda just a little cancerous? It's like the MC is forced to go dumpster diving to select his waifu. Alright Billy, congrats on winning a new waifu. You get to choose between AIDS, cancer, Ebola, chronic diarrhea, and some random made-up Tumblr disease. Have fun! There's no way out of this. Or, you know, maybe this is just a crossover of The Bachelor and Jersey Shore. But the show, you know, it's actually surprisingly decent, and the MC is refreshing compared to most harem leads. Goblin Slayer gave the sequel it promised through The Rising of the Shield Hero, which left us with another anime that people got their testes twisted over. The anime has actually been a straight solid, and it effectively utilized a double-length premiere, which I wish more animes would start to attempt. It's an excellent method for hooking people, instead of, you know, having to awkwardly squeeze or trim down the premiere at a weird time. The series starts off generic, as the MC Nafumi, who like most isekai leads, is an unsocial otaku that can only dream of having a cliché isekai scenario play out before him. That ends up becoming a reality when a library book sucks him into another world. Upon first witnessing this foreign place, Nafumi becomes quite excited, but that excitement quickly shifts to salt once he learns that everyone naturally dislikes him because he is the infamous shield hero, and the Queen of Thoughts betrays him for his money and turns the entire kingdom and the other heroes against him. This causes Nafumi to end up completely hating the world around him and becoming an enemy of many, which I find is an interesting twist on the genre, and his mindset kind of echoes the mindset that a lot of anime viewers probably have about isekais at this point. Also, I can't get over how funny it is that he uses slimes to fight, which he pulls off from himself because he's able to constantly allow them to attach to his body because of his sky-high defense.
Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend!
A reboot of the year 2000 anime Boogie Pop Phantom was given to us in the form of Boogie Pop and Others. I think this show hasn't been receiving the appreciation it deserves, as I've seen people get frustrated over how puzzling it's been, but I find the specific way it's confusing is very alluring. I really like the ways its sequence of events are pieced together, and I'm enticed by where exactly the story is going to go next despite my mindfuckery. The show has, well, it's kind of like bashing your head against a best girl with steel titties. Yeah, there's steel, which is causing me great pain, but at least my face is pressing against her bobbies. Studio Gohans is back at it again with an anime that's looking as glamorous as K-Project was. While the story did next to nothing to garner my interest, the visuals have been super hot fire, as this DJ scene was immensely captivating. Give it a try if you're fine with just tuning in for spectacular visuals at the cost of plot, which, well, isn't that far off from just watching a hentai. Who needs isekai anime when you can just get sucked into another world from real life?
絶対のルールに従ってもし正解したら解放しちゃうぜ。謎を解くんだ。それが勇者の戦いだ。
Kakaguri Season 2 wasted no time in drawing us right back into the insanity that its first season brought us. The ordering of the timeline has felt a little awkward and made me feel like I'm still watching Boogie Pop Phantom at times, but the intense adrenaline rush I got from watching the gambling scenarios play out is still there. The new set of antagonists do a nice job at raising the stakes, and I can't wait to see what other types of games are in store.
そうですか。わかってるよ。今度はお互いだ。
God, I wish that were me. Revisions, yeah, the only thing I've got to say about this one is how about the animators make some revisions to this CGI. I can't think of much great to say about this show, so just remember that I'm an anituber and therefore my anime opinions are law, and anything you hear from anyone else is just hearsay. Two different animes take us to the skies in The Magnificent Kotobuki and Girly Air Force. While The Magnificent Kotobuki doesn't have much it could call a plot so far, I do have to say that the battles were viciously emerging and superbly realistic. Despite its out-of-place CGI characters, the action sequences more than make up for that in the animation department. As for Girly Air Force, which features girls that are actual aircrafts, let's just say The Magnificent Kotobuki is akin to the anime Wright brothers and Girly Air Force is... Weeaboo 9/11, but it wouldn't be another anime season without having some legitimate trash thrown in, right? How about an anime for the first time that actually tries to draw you away from looking at the character's huge tits? Because damn, those eyes are thick. It's a magical girl show that, honestly so far, doesn't really feel like a magical girl show, but hey, at least the fight scenes seem pretty dope. An Angel Flew Down on Me revolves around Miyako, a socially awkward and recluse college student. Though it's in good spirit, she's left trying her damnest to make friends with her little sister's friends. Honestly, I'm not sure if she's just a 40-year-old neckbeard in a teenage girl's body, or a distant relative of Tomoko from Watamote. Gotta give props though to this lolly for being a role model for all other anime lollies.
再通させて近づかないで。通報するから。
Having never watched the original Mob Psycho, I went into season 2 without protection, as I wanted to at least say something about it. If there's one thing I wasn't expecting, it was becoming so magically enticed by a romantic moment in the show. The art style continues to be quite unique from what I've seen in clips of season 1, so I may just try starting this series from the beginning. On the topic of quality romance, Kaguya-sama Love is War is currently competing for my top pick of the season. The show features various scenarios of two high IQ schoolers trying to outwit each other over who will first express their romantic infatuation to the other. The dialogue and narration is meta-savvy and hilarious, and I have no idea how the writer managed to construct some of these scenarios. These two make Light and L look like Beavis and Butthead playing a game of tic-tac-toe. Meanwhile, the side characters heavily complement the two main leads through their personalities. Lastly, I can't express enough how effective the visuals have been at showing the characters' thoughts and feelings. Between that and the cleverly thorough dialogue, it's honestly been like a Monogatari on bath salts roller coaster at times.
Oh, ye gods! My roast is ruined! But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
Dororo sliced my usual distaste for historical anime in two. Along with an impressive soundtrack, it holds a compelling story about a mysterious doll-like man looking to reclaim all of his body parts from demons because when he was born, his father sacrificed his organs to the demons in exchange for strength on the battlefield. I really dig the depth the story has, and I think its opening might be every AMV editor's wet dream. Just like a chode, anime shorts never seem to get much attention, so I recommend checking out How Clumsy You Are, Miss Ueno. There's a bunch of places one should never go, but this anime just says fuck you, I'm gonna go there anyways and rolls with it.
A few moments later.
さあ、我が水源を受け入れこのサバイバル時代を生き抜くのだ。
2 hours later.
ありがたく飲めよ田中。
The next day.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
What's up guys, I'm PewDiePie.
I don't believe it, it's almost too good to be true. I ain't never seen a ass like that.
Yeah, that's really about the only asset this show has. While my stiffy is still in town, I might as well mention that if there's one thing I was expecting a return to, it certainly wasn't the show that gave me my first stiffy, even if it just is an OVA. So far, Domestic Girlfriend has been my surprise of the season, as I thought it was going to be a typical sleazy cuck show, but it actually has a unique scenario with some quality character interaction. The girls have likable traits, the main guy doesn't feel like a cliche self-insert pushover, We got an OVA special episode for a Fate series that's going to air in July. I know the full series is airing in the summer season, but fuck you, this is my video and I wanted to mention it. The OVA and future series follow Waver Velvet from Fate Zero 10 years in the future. At first I was honestly wondering if that was really Waver. Oh, yeah, that's Waver alright. Before we delve into our final show, I'd like to state that animes, like most sources of film and animation, need that initial hook to draw you in and keep you invested. A common discussion among weebs is animes that had some of the strongest premieres ever. We think about moments like the horror Ed and Al felt in their failure to resurrect their mother, the crazy over-the-topness and adrenaline-fueling animation when Light first used the Death Note, and the pure anguish we felt watching Aaron's entire village being destroyed and his mother getting devoured by a titan. That holy shitty kitty, I cannot believe that just happened moment, and the pure wonderment about where the series and stories will head next. The Promised Neverland will go down as having one of the most praised premieres in animes, and after 3 episodes, it's already had a magnificent overall beginning. I suggest skipping forward a few minutes if you haven't seen the anime or manga yet, as I recommend going into the show completely bare naked. The Promised Neverland is a spine-tickling horror shonen anime that, like Made in Abyss, effectively utilizes a main cast of children, are essentially characters that feel so minuscule compared to the world, monsters, and enemies around them. Whoever's in control of the sound production deserves Best Girls for Life, because when we see Emma approach the fence that shuts them off from the rest of the world, all the other audio, including the peaceful nature noises, momentarily cease. We're left with nothing but the dramatic sound of Emma's footsteps as she inches closer to the fence. I also adore the mysterious airiness of the leaking water droplets, capturing the suspense when they first visit the gate. The use of camera motion and angles during this scene were some Kaguya-sama levels of genius, as they make the viewer feel right there with the characters. It reminds me of how Land of the Lustrous used similar techniques in its most tense moments. The viewers are kept guessing and left in complete confusion as to what's going to happen next through the usage of clever cuts. I could go on, but I don't want to dedicate most of the video's time to one anime, but Neverland has just been that amazing. Seriously, watch.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
What happens when you give Pop Team Epic the CGI treatment and go light years beyond full retard? You get the anime of the season. No, the anime of the year. Virtual Son looking is no different than watching random VR chat clips on YouTube, but that's the absolute beauty of it. Instead of having to spend all your time clicking through multiple videos on YouTube, Virtual Son looking does you a favor by mashing them all together straight into one big brain retard smoothie. The pure creativity that the anime leaves the viewer is also astounding. Just look at what happens when I replace the audio with a Spanish soap opera. See, I wasn't lying when I said this would go down as one of the greatest anime seasons ever. Just look at all the other beautiful moments we've had.
Grades never bothered me anyway.
Aren't Chinese cartoons beautiful? I'm looking forward to and hoping that this season lives up to all its hype, as well as Neverland making me pants my shit, Shield Heroes scenario triggering people and Raftalia melting her hearts, Kaguya-sama teaching us romance in the form of 4D chess, Crunchyroll giving us another salty sequel, quintessential quintuplets crowning a winner of the Trash Waifu Wars, Virtual Son looking saving anime, Sasuke finally getting a breath of fresh air, and much more. I know I couldn't cover every single show because damn there are so many of them, so you know, fuck you cute magical girls doing cute things. Meanwhile, I'll continue being a hermit waiting forever for the snow to melt and the Seconds Heaven Feel film to finally come to us. I lied, this season is fucking trash.